Okay ba?
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Glorious Reacts. Before I begin, I would like to introduce ourselves. I am your friend from Down Under, Arnold, and I am joined by the thriller from Manila, Joel. Say hi, Joel.
Hey guys, what's up?
And our very own Singapore Sling, Paul. Say hi, Paul.
Hello. Hello.
Once again, we join the Watcher as he looks through the multiverse at key events throughout the MCU that we've gotten very familiar with, but with a significant difference, giving us variant stories that show us possible answers to the titular question, what if? Before we continue, I would like to inform you, dear audience, that this is not a spoiler-free show, and that we will be talking directly about the events that occur in today's episode, most of which will be revealing key story elements. If you have not watched the latest episode or any episodes of What If, come on, we are now halfway through the show, the series, sorry. And if you would like to remain unspoiled, please stop here and come back once you've watched the show. Without further ado, Joel will be taking care of our recap tonight. So, take it away,
Correct.
Joel.
Thank you very much, Arnold.
You are very much welcome.
Okay, I'm doing my best Bob Ross impersonation.
Oh no, Bob Ross.
So this episode asks what would happen if Killmonger saved Tony Stark from the Ten Rings attack in Afghanistan. In a rather jam-packed episode, Eric Killmonger Stevens, this is the first time I've heard his last name, Stevens. Eric Killmonger Stevens climbs his way up the military-industrial complex by getting on Stark's good side, saving him from the event that sparked the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe.
You're right.
Yep. Instead, Tony continues to be an arms dealer, and with Killmonger by his side helping him, brings in a new era of warfare with the Liberators, advanced robot drones that look a lot like the drones that Hammer Industries trotted out in Iron Man 2. Along the way to the future of war, Killmonger adds more scars on his body, killing off T'Challa, his cousin, and Rhodey, a new-faced Rhodey, based on the time that this was supposedly happening, and blames both deaths on either the Americans or the Wakandans. He also ends his partnership with Tony via a Dora Milaje spear to the right shoulder. Right? Just like the wound that Duke got in G.I. Joe the movie. The only difference is Duke lived. Tony died for some reason. And he uses that murder to convince Thunderbolt Ross to invade Wakanda. He also offs Ulysses Claw, just like in the movie, and uses his corpse in order to gain favor with the Wakandans and reconnect with his royal family as the one who executed the outsider who stole from them. He also warns them of the American invasion. But the attack is short-lived, as the drones deactivate as soon as they enter the protective dome of the high-tech kingdom. Killmonger, however, uses a dummy switch to reactivate the drones and rallies the Wakandans, shouting, "Wakanda forever!" like a hero sent from Bast. He and the Wakandan warriors then defeat the Liberators, who were probably programmed by Killmonger himself not to really do any lethal harm. All this he does to get in the good graces of his uncle, King T'Chaka, Queen, and General, as it was revealed in this episode as well, Ramonda, and the Wakandans, to be named as the new Black Panther, or as some of the other shows have been saying, the Black Jaguar. But not everyone bought into his story. Shuri finds her way to Pepper Potts and uncovers what Killmonger really did, and they start a plan to out him to the whole world.
Indeed. Girl power and Wakanda forever. But he does not
Wakanda,
do that.
Wakanda forever.
He doesn't do the thing, which is great.
Doesn't.
Paul's gonna start off with our likes. Go,
Oh,
take it away.
yes. I would be happy. So, my likes it's very simple. In the Black Panther movie, one of the things I really liked about it was the villain. So I really like how Killmonger was written.
one of the best villains, I think, in the entire of
Mhm.
MCU.
Exactly.
Aside from what's his face?
Oh, the-
Zemo.
The best.
Oh, yes.
Well, there's only three that I really like in the. Well, actually, I don't know if the other one is considered as an MCU villain, but I like Purple Man.
Oh,
I
from
like
Jessica
from
Jones.
Jessica Jones.
Mhm.
I like
Killgrave. That's it.
Zemo, of
Killgrave.
course. Yes, Killgrave. And then I like Killmonger. So those three. Um, and now, of course, we all love Kang.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Well, at least that first iteration of him
Yes,
that we
that
saw.
he who
Only one
remains
guy in
version.
that, in
The
that
he who remains
series
version.
is not purple.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's a
So-
theming.
Love the Killmonger, and I love there's a lot of Killmonger, so I love that. So, I hope that they'd bring him back in the actual MCU.
This version of Killmonger.
Yes, yes,
Mhm.
because I really like his character, and I really love watching Michael B. Jordan have fun portraying him. Um,
I think he totally did. You could hear it in his voice.
yeah,
Yeah. Wakanda forever.
he loves it. He loves doing the whole thing, right?
He loves the character.
Yeah.
He loves the character. Second thing, I loved about this is it's similar to what I love most about zombies, which was the zombie episode, which was there's a lot of different scenes that never happened in the actual MCU, which was really refreshing to see. Interactions that we don't regularly see. We see Happy Hogan punching Obadiah. We see the the young Shuri interact with Pepper Potts, the
Right, yeah.
unmarried. Is it? They never
No,
never
they
married,
weren't.
right?
The first movie, they haven't been married.
But
This
the
is more-
unengaged Pepper Potts, I guess.
That's the thing. I mean, she surely looks extremely young in this one.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I think it's because the events of such happening, we get to meet Wakanda and everybody in it a lot earlier than the Black Panther movie.
Yes.
This is like around 2008 when the
Yeah.
first Iron Man came out. So instead of like what 15-year-old Shuri, we got like what 12-year-old Shuri. It's a bit surprising, but she's
Yeah.
already extremely smart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, she did say Tony Stark was a genius, and she is also, right? So yeah, and even in the MCU, we know that she's criticized Banner for not thinking about that particular part
Oh,
of
yeah, right.
designing the core of
A vision.
Vision. Yes.
Exactly, and like Vision's like, yeah, right. What did you think about that?
Yeah.
Now you have to like bit by bit try to pull this thing out of my head.
Yeah. It's so those two things, and so one of the things that I want to focus on is that end scene with Shuri and Pepper. The reason why is because of that scene. I wanted to see more of this episode. I wanted
You
it
wanted to explore this
yes,
this world more.
Yeah, this specific, I don't know, timeline or this specific world.
Multiverse.
Yeah, multiverse. Because of that, because I want to see how they deal with Killmonger, how they out him to the world, especially now that he's being backed by the whole country of Wakanda. Everyone's on his side. So yeah,
M'Baku to the rescue.
right. And
M'Baku.
because there's no Tony Stark, there's no Iron Man,
Yes.
there's probably a delay in the launch of the Avengers Initiative. So I want to see how that turns out also, and how that impacts the plans of Killmonger moving forward. Because to be honest, it looks like he wanted the power to subjugate other people. So I want to see what happens moving forward. And I think that conversation with Shuri and Pepper Potts is the one that basically it's our launch point to seeing more of the world.
This is,
So yeah.
This is totally it. This one's perfect segue into one of my likes. This is the one episode so far of the What If episodes we've seen that I really, really want to continue. And precisely for the same things. It's an intriguing part of the story and it's an intriguing Wakanda being open to the world a lot earlier in the MCU by a different Black Panther, a Black Panther with an agenda, right? And who's really pushing for that agenda. will be something that's very intriguing because it is a super advanced society, and the world is not ready for them in 2008. I mean, they weren't ready for them in 2012, but the entire idea of them coming out is actually pretty intriguing, and the fact that Killmonger is an extremely smart guy to have been able to orchestrate something as complicated as this, as coming out as the hero on top on both sides. So he played both sides quite perfectly, right? He did not only
Yep.
just so he orchestrated the attack, but and then at the same time fought back the attack. But in both situations, he had maintained the goodwill or the facade of the hero
Yep.
for both the Americans in the West, as represented by the American army, and
The
Wakanda, and I'm assuming the rest of Africa, represented by as the leader of the Wakandans, as the Black Panther. So that's why I'm extremely excited to see this. And right, the same thing. I'm a total fan of Killmonger. Before he became the Black Panther, before he was able to don the suit, he was in the same level of. I just realized this now. Remember that the diagram that we've been talking about a while ago, which listed out all of the different MCU villains, and it had our good friend Zemo at the last as
At the-
just the guy. I
Just
guess
the
we could
guy.
also say that Killmonger is just a guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, equally just as smart and talented, despite not having the martial prowess. This guy's pretty much the complete package. I just didn't even realize that he was quite the engineer because he was helping out Tony build
Yeah.
the machine. So he did not only because this wasn't explored much.
It was
when they
it was
did
glanced over when they in the actual Black Panther movie,
yeah.
when they talked about his background, like as an MIT graduate and all of that. So you know that he's from
this one
MIT.
I
so he's
really
an
glossed
engineer.
over that one. I didn't realize up until now that he was. So this one's actually existing um,
In the MCU.
of info. Okay, excellent. So this just built it even further, showing that hey, I actually had a thesis talking about creating these drones, and he helped build them. So he's an excellent. Continues to being one of the most compelling characters in the MCU, and this includes also obviously his motivations. I mentioned that he is a Black Panther with an agenda, and he's very much willing to pursue this agenda, whatever the cost. And we've seen that
Mhm.
happen in the Black Panther movie, and we're seeing it happen even more so in this episode. Finally, General Ramonda is
Oh,
badass.
that was a reveal.
General Ramonda is badass, and I was so happy that we got the opportunity to see her in combat. In the movie, she was in hiding, right?
Mhm.
So she did not get to. You wonder if she was a Dorja Milaje prior to becoming the queen, because we don't know how the power structure, how the hierarchy of things happen. Is the king allowed to? We don't
Very
know if there's these
adorable.
rankings that actually exist in the Wakandan society. This wasn't very clear. So just showing that she is a capable fighter is amazing, and the mere fact that obviously she was using the spear makes me assume that she was actually either trained very well trained by the Dorje Milaje or was actually part of them. Joel.
Yeah, well, actually, a lot of the two of my likes you guys have already mentioned,
Yep.
but I'll just uh, pound the thought. That Killmonger.
Stole
He
the
was
show.
just
Hands down.
stole the show. Well, he was the show.
That's fair, that's fair.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always drawn to characters who use their intelligence more than brute force. That's why I actually preferred Loki. Even before the MCU, I preferred the Loki character
Right.
in
yes.
Norse mythology because
Oh.
he was cunning.
Yep.
right? You had Loki's cutting these smart people because as opposed to brawny people.
Mm.
And then you have Killmonger showing his cunning in this episode, and he's not just that. He's not just highly intelligent, but he's also very accomplished in the military. Actually,
Right.
who's to say that because of all of his contacts, because of all the things that he's done, he actually planned everything from the start.
Right.
No,
Uh,
my assumption is that this has been ever since.
Yeah.
Since he's discovered that these are the things. Because remember, he grew up in the streets. Well,
Mm.
streets, right? And he lost his father early to gang violence. And
He witnessed that.
that in
He
this one,
didn't.
or even in
I know in the original one, right? He
Right.
saw his dad get killed.
Exactly.
Did
No, he didn't.
No,
He just
He was
saw the
playing
ship fly
basketball
away.
he was
Yeah.
playing basketball downstairs.
Because I think in this particular instance, T'Chaka wasn't able to kill.
No, I think that I think everything is the same.
Yeah, I think
we
it
don't-
happened
we don't know.
the way it
Yeah.
happened.
Okay.
It happened the way it happened, but it's just that probably Mr. Stevens just found out about things a lot earlier.
Mm.
So who's to say that he didn't actually orchestrate the Ten Rings thing? He was actually in on it with Obadiah Stane,
I wouldn't be surprised if it was actually
right? He
saying
did
hey,
that, and then he
live.
outs Stane.
Yeah.
And then who's to say that he wasn't in on it with Claw from the start? All of the things that he did, I'm sure that he already knew about it. He knew how to manipulate everything and everyone, and it shows you how intelligent and cunning he really was. And
He was
it just
extremely
really
sinister
highlights
in that
his
regard.
villainy.
Yeah.
Right? So it was really cool. And I have here my note, he's no longer the Killmonger. He actually becomes the Warmonger because he actually did do that.
And we
right?
don't get the warmonger because Obadiah gets.
Yeah, we don't get the Warmonger from
we
Obadiah
don't get the
Stane. So
warmonger
becomes
suit because he gets.
Killmonger who becomes the Warmonger.
Yeah,
Right?
that's it.
He's pitting two countries against each other.
That's it.
Right? He's the real Killmonger because he actually mongering war. Is that even a verb?
That's it. That's pretty much
Yeah?
what you're the
Yeah,
guy who says,
monger,
"Hey,
yeah.
come on, let's go fight.
Mongering.
Let's go
Yeah.
fight."
Yeah, and again we go back to Queen Ramonda as a badass general. That was so cool to see. You knew that they were really building up to that because they first focused on King T'Chaka. What do you say?
Exactly.
And then they suddenly shift. My
Ex-
general.
Exactly. Oh, that setup was like, I was like, what?
What?
I was like,
And it
yes.
was like, wow, okay. That was really cool. That was a really cool setup. And it was a really cool reveal. It gave us even a richer appreciation of Wakanda, of the culture of Wakanda. You know, we already know that the Dora Milaje are like badass warriors, and then you have your queen as a badass warrior, not just a badass warrior, but a badass general.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
She never backed down against the robots. She was just she was glad that she didn't have to fight, but when the fight actually happened, she was just all in it.
Yeah, and she had the Dora Milaje get up with her whole green crown on.
With the
I was
crown.
wondering, is that army
Baker's hat.
I wonder is that army standard for
Yeah, so
Wakanda?
it was pretty cool, and it was so cool, especially her when she cried for T'Challa
Mm.
in the end. It seemed also as if it wasn't just for the character. It was as if Angela Bassett was actually dedicating that performance for Chadwick Boseman. So you could see the emotion in that line. It was just so that really had something there. That carried a lot of something there. And my last like is actually I always liked it, the percussive music of Wakanda.
Yeah.
I really loved it, and they brought it back here. It brings a different quality brought a different quality to the MCU when it first came out in Black Panther, and it brought a different quality to this episode. It made it a more complete for me, a good complete episode.
Right.
with all of those things. So yeah, so this episode really felt like a. I'm just gonna go ahead and skip to some other parts. It felt like it was really like a goodbye episode for Chadwick
I'm sure
Boseman.
they're gonna be doing something for that in the second Black Panther movie whenever that one comes out.
Yeah,
But this is a nice like preview, foreshadowing and preview for
Yeah.
that one. It feels a lot. It feels very sincere and it feels very very right.
But do you think that he already passed away during because he was voicing it, right? So maybe
no.
they didn't know what he had.
But I think that had already known. He was already very thin towards the end.
No, but he knew what was happening, right? But
Yeah.
do you think the other people who were doing the voice acting knew about what was happening to him?
It would have been easy to redub,
Oh.
and it would have just made, and it would have been easy to rewrite stuff, right?
That's true. It's quite possible that they were not, right? I mean, but now that we are in hindsight, obviously applying this
Yeah.
knowledge, it still feels right. I mean, it still feels
Yeah.
for us fans feels like a nice add-on, right? It's a nice feeling for that one. So we loved Killmonger, but there was one aspect of it, of in at the very least in the episode that didn't sit very well. They were trying to find a way to put it in to keep it as a Black Panther movie, I guess. Paul's first dislike was one particular thing.
That's actually mine too. That's actually mine too.
Yeah. I dislike him saying Wakanda forever. He
Yeah.
keeps saying it. Like maybe the first time it can be forgiven. but
running around the battlefield. Wakanda
yeah,
forever.
Wakanda forever. Wakanda
Yeah, it was
forever.
like he was playing around in the field,
He was on a rhino with
and
a spear. Wakanda forever.
and it wasn't. It sounded different.
Okay.
And I'm gonna yeah, because he had an American accent. Just the Wakanda forever.
Yeah.
Like, it was different when Chadwick Boseman was saying it. With the
Exactly. So I mean the first time I gave him a pass, he kept repeating it and it was just grating my ears. Every time I hear it, it's like, oh my god, please not again. And you knew he was gonna say it because he
Yeah.
kept saying the second time when he repeated it the second time. Oh, he's gonna be saying it the whole time. He was riding the rhino. Oh my god, please stop. So yeah, I hated that every scene except save for the first time he did. Every other time he did it, I just like, oh my god, stop, please stop. Yeah, so yeah, no, that was really bad. Really dislike that part. I this is a very my second bullet point about what I disliked about this episode is really more aesthetic in a sense. I don't like the design. Even if he said he likes anime, the design of the drones, I don't know. They could have made it more practical.
I thought it was practical.
It had
So the extra flaps in the back, the one like the most expensive Gundam.
have they not learned from Star Wars?
The droids. Well, that's it. They can
But
do
he's
whatever
not
they
a Star
want.
Wars fan. He's
Yeah,
an
he's an
anime
anime
fan.
fan. But yeah, I mean, I just dislike the
This is
design.
very
of the drones.
impractical in terms
Yeah, I
of
mean,
combat, I guess. is what
Yeah,
they say.
exactly. Walking, come on. If they kind of learned anything from Star Wars, is that they cannot build mechanized things that walk because they can be brought down by lines, by
If
cables.
Boston Dynamics is like knocking at your door, something to say to you
But
about that.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, this is very aesthetic, and it's more of a choice for me. I didn't like the design of the drones. And my last one is it's more of a I don't know. It's more of a nitpick on the Killmonger character. As much as I like him. If he had a drop on Tony Stark, I believe he would have won. But the problem was, Tony Stark knew of his treachery. And the way they portrayed Tony Stark here was that there was no contingency plan. He bet it all on the robot, on the dumb robot, right? And I don't know. I don't believe it. I don't believe it of the Tony Stark. Maybe because it would have worked because this Tony Stark was never part of the Avengers, or he never
Mhm.
really grew up, right? Or he never really not grew up, but
Yeah,
he never
he
really,
hadn't matured yet.
yeah,
I
much
mean, he hadn't.
developed,
Yeah.
right?
No.
As a character, it never really developed. But if you see the Tony Stark that we see in the MCU, or in comic books or whatever,
Mm.
he he is he prepares for instances, especially when he has information in advance. He actually got the drop on Killmonger, right? Because he showed Killmonger that he knows the truth. The problem is he didn't prepare for the battle after that. He just wanted the robot to deal with Killmonger, which I think was a bad idea. But I believe it was if it was the Tony Stark that we know, he would have won.
Definitely.
I don't believe Killmonger would have been able to beat Tony Stark, because the truth is out already, and Tony Stark knows of the plot, right? So he would have prepared.
Exactly. No, and
So that
Jarvis should have
scene,
done something, right?
yeah,
Yeah, Jarvis would have
The
done
whole-
something that robot arm would have probably done
yeah,
something.
exactly.
Robot
I feel like
true.
they had to do something to just move it forward. So
Mhm.
so this was one of those things that okay, just move it along. So
Yeah.
it's fine.
I have a question for you though, Paul. Do you think that Tony Stark in Iron Man 1 would have won against Killmonger? Because this is Tony Stark who did not become Iron Man. This
Yeah.
is a Tony Stark who's a drunkard, a
Right.
Tony Stark who
Who still has
thinks
some
that
brush
might is right.
And
Right.
Yeah.
everybody just
He was
rebutted
never
him.
corrected. Basically, his
Yeah.
compass was never corrected. Um, if it was so we're talking about Tony Stark who got out of the cave, right?
Not even, because he never got in the cave. This is
Okay.
Tony Stark who was in the Humvee.
Yeah. So from that perspective, yes, I think the story was, I guess it justified Tony Stark getting beat. But yeah. So I believe you're right but any other time
No, I still
in
think
the universe,
I still think there was some loophole there because, like I said, there was a lot of things around. Like Jarvis
The
would
Jarvis-
have
okay.
changed
Yeah.
anyways.
Happy Hogan wasn't there, and
That one you could say
You could
that
it was the end of the
he was
day.
conveniently preoccupied by something else.
Yeah, he was off looking for Aunt May.
Or the other thing is that you could say that regarding Jarvis that Eric actually prepared for it and did something. But this was.
But we never see it,
highlighted,
though.
You didn't get any.
Yeah,
details
we never
about
see
that
it,
one. So it just felt that it was a little too easy, right? It's a little too easy. I guess that's what Paul is trying
Yeah,
to say.
Yeah.
it was like he got surprised by the robot and said, oh, but then it's your moves, you programmed him, then I have to freestyle. Oh my god, come on.
Wakanda
was like,
forever.
I have to
Imagine if he actually
freestyle.
started saying it there. It's like, what? Where did that come from? What's Wakanda? In my case, the one thing that I actually wanted to nitpick about, I don't know why, it just felt like the only thing. It just felt that Pepper Potts' character here was just so dull and drab. I'm not saying she was the best character in any of the Iron Man movies, but she, at the very least, in the Iron Man movies, she wasn't this. I don't know.
She was such a background character, background with a
and
background.
obviously her voice wasn't lent by Gwyneth in this movie.
Gwyneth Paltrow.
Yeah.
And whoever was trying to come up with her voice seemed to be trying so hard to emulate the voice to the point that it became like a dull sounding version of Pepper
But
Potts.
I'm not sure if this was the reason why that sounded the way it did, but I have a feeling Killmonger took remember in Iron Man 1 when Tony got back from the cave.
Yeah.
The reason why Pepper she was more, they had moments together.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that lent more to the
No, I
how
agree.
the character was.
But
But
in this
Killmonger
episode, it was
got
Killmonger
everything. Yeah,
had
it
the
was all.
moments with
Yeah,
Tony.
exactly, exactly. Killmonger got every moment.
That's fine. That's fine. I mean, I understand that, but I can't. It just
As a
felt that she
character
was
on her own,
on
she
her
just
own. It
didn't.
just felt like a cardboard cutout. So,
Okay.
it just I just have a feeling that it was more because the voice actress was trying so
Mm.
hard to create that Gwyneth Paltrow voice.
Right.
That it
Instead
ended
of
up.
just voicing the
Yeah.
character.
Well, yeah. Because remember, the voicing is what brings out the characters in this one. Because you can see that completely
Mm.
done extremely well. For example, when Benedict Cumberbatch
With
was
Michael
doing,
B. Jordan and his
and
Wakanda
Michael B.
Forever.
Jordan as well. Yes, correct. So there was, and then I guess one of the other things was that because of the pace, we were rushing through two movies in this one, two very disparate movies. We were rushing through Iron Man 1 and we were rushing through the Black Panther movie. We did not get an opportunity to actually feel bad about the twist on Tony Stark. Um, why did I want to feel bad about it? Because Tony Stark was a character that was prevalent across the entire MCU. He was the cornerstone. He allowed for as what Joel actually mentioned at the top of the show. He was he made the MCU possible, right? Both as a franchise and the Iron Man character, Tony Stark and Iron Man character, and in the story itself, all the way until Endgame.
Right.
Wherein even Watu highlighted like his best hits, right? His best hits, starting from the Mark One forging, which is very iconic.
Right.
His walk, was it? Oh no, it was his fight with Vanko. Was that the second bit? I can't remember now. But there was another shot
And
there.
then, of
It
course,
was either
the-
the fight with Whiplash or the shot on the tank for Iron Man 2.
Yep.
And then obviously the snap.
The snap.
And I kind of wanted to. I was feeling bad of obviously that's like, oh wow, cool, we're gonna get to see Tony. What happens to Tony if that life-changing event never happened? And we saw that and it was very plausible. I kind of wanted to feel bad about the twist at the end. I did not. Because it's like, oh, all right. I didn't even feel bad that, you got your just desserts. This is what happens when you don't get a life-threatening event, in a cave somewhere in Afghanistan.
He doesn't die of a shrapnel millimeters from his heart,
Yeah.
but he dies of a spear to the right shoulder.
Shoulder. Yep.
I was actually trying to see, did he just stab the heart? No, that's the
No,
other side
no.
of the body.
Shoulder.
So you kind of
Yeah.
like, I don't know.
It was Duke in G.I. Joe the movie. He was stabbed in the heart, but then like, in the next image, the wound moved to the other side.
Well,
Yeah.
that's 90s, that's 80s animation for you. This one is
Yeah.
like 2021. Come on, guys. How can you kill him off with that one? Is it poison spear? Anyway,
No.
didn't feel bad.
Probably.
I didn't
Because
feel bad about that one.
didn't Killmonger use poison when he fought T'Challa in the movie?
I don't know.
In the waterfall battle, did he? No.
No, I don't think
it was
so. I
purely
think that
skill.
was really purely
It was
psychological.
purely
plus
skill. It was a combination of T'Challa's internal struggle because
Yeah.
he's now the Black Panther there and he was still like grieving for his father.
Yeah.
His doubt, all of that. I mean,
and just
obviously,
skill.
Yeah.
Jobu comes in and says like, "Yeah, I'm gonna
Wakanda
challenge you,
forever."
cuz."
And then he kept using Apollo Creed moves.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I just had a thought though. No? We brought this up. No, that we didn't get to feel for Tony Stark. It would have been nice if this was also really the episode where they would have explored the demon in a bottle storyline much more. Right? They don't kill him off. It's just that for one reason or another, Killmonger is able to discredit Tony, and then Stark Industries continues to become nationalized. Stark falls from grace, and then they invade Wakanda, and then you see Tony slowly
In
deteriorating,
the background.
going into his bottle even more and more.
Yeah.
This would have been that episode where they could have explored that idea.
Yes.
And
Right?
who is at the bottom of the bottle?
Mephisto.
There you go.
Yeah,
There you
baby.
go.
Damn it. I was about to say
Wow,
Genie.
thanks for
but
the assist,
okay.
man.
There you go.
Christina Aguilera comes out. Paul. Sorry, no, Joel.
Okay, so yeah, so I'm gonna sound like a broken record.
Yep, no, that's all right.
I'm gonna sound like a broken record with my first two dislikes. Again, everyone was. You say that the character of Gwyneth. Oh, sorry, not Pepper Potts is flat. She was also drawn flat.
Well,
Happy
they all
Hogan was
have
flat.
been.
Yeah, they were all flat. They were wide. It's just so weird to see it. To see that animation. So I'm just gonna glance over that. So the next poor animation choice for me. Especially, I mean, they probably were trying to go for an anime-ish look, but especially that sequence where Killmonger jumps on a rhino, and he says "Wakanda forever," and then the rhino starts moving forward.
Yeah.
The animation is so slow. It's like, but they have all of these streaking lines that's supposed to, like, supposed to tell you that he's moving very fast. But
Yeah.
it's so slow because the animation of the entire series has always been slow. Everyone moves as if they're floating or they're underwater.
Underwater. Yep.
So those streaking lines only emphasize how the animation was really so slow, and they have not fixed it. I don't know if they are. I don't think that they're ever gonna fix it.
No, I think that's. I think.
I
Yeah,
think the look kind of like it was great. We enjoyed the first one because of the
Its novelty.
it's a fresh. It's
look. We enjoyed the second one because it was pretty much just blue in outer space. And then from the third one onwards, I think that's when it like sort of deteriorated.
it hits you like, oh my god, they're floating. They're not moving normally, right?
There you go.
And I think that this is connected, no, to what you're saying, that we never ever got the chance to feel for Tony. It's also because we weren't given a chance to breathe. Everything was so okay. Killmonger, step one, save Tony Stark.
But
Step
this is
two,
common though across all of the episodes. I think
Right?
it's just
We don't
more
really-
obvious in some than the others.
Yeah,
Wait, no. That's true. But for example, in the zombies episode, I kind of really felt sad when they discovered Hope had a scratch.
Well, yes.
yeah. But we're talking about like everything is just like
Yes, breakneck speed. I understand. Yeah.
yeah.
There were bits and pieces. For example, Hope's, because he obviously in the zombie trope they had to show that like somebody
Yeah.
gets a scratch. It's like, oh no, we're gonna turn into a zombie, and that was effective. I
Yeah.
guess. But in this case, the Tony one required a lot more setup, a lot more exposition. That's why
Yeah.
Joel's idea of having him slowly deteriorate, even in the background, you just get the shot
Yeah.
at the end wherein he's like kills himself because of overdose or whatever. Would have felt much better.
Wow, killed him. I didn't even think of him like killing himself. You really went there.
It's what if everybody gets to be killed, remember?
Yeah, poor Tony. He dies in all of the episodes that he comes out.
That's
so
true.
Yeah. So yeah,
That's
the only breath that we actually get is that quick montage of the two coffins of Rhodey and T'Challa.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. Apart from, and that was like what, 5 seconds?
Yep.
But the entire episode is like, okay, I need to check off all of the things I need to do to become Black Panther. I'm there.
There you
Wakanda
go.
forever.
Wakanda forever.
Yeah. So that's still an issue.
Yep.
And this next one is if Paul had an aesthetic dislike, me, I had like it was a nice line in the actual movie.
Oh,
It would have been nice to hear it
yeah.
here as well. There's no high on T line.
Yeah.
That was so cool when he said that it would have been nice to hear it, but given a different context, right? Because there he was really arrogant. He was like, okay, this is my kingdom now. But here it would have been like he would have been differential. He would have been trying to curry favor and everything. It would have sounded different. And then speaking of sounding different, yes, of course, Wakanda forever. So
Can we now
different.
stop saying that?
I'm not gonna stop saying it. Wakanda forever,
I mean,
especially with that accent. It doesn't sound as good.
it doesn't come
Nobody
out
can
right.
ever.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah,
Come out
nobody
right.
can ever do it the same way Chadwick Boseman
I
ever
think he
did
did
it.
that on purpose, obviously. He wanted to
Yeah,
highlight
so
the
that people will
difference
get
between.
tired of face and won't want to hear it anymore.
No, no, I mean, he wanted it to be significantly different, and there was no way for him to actually suddenly gain an like a
Wakandan
Wakandan
accent.
accent and say it the same way because he can't. It's kind of like going against. Probably a lot of fans was like, no, you can't say that because the
Yeah,
same way as T'Challa does. Because you're not T'Challa, or you're not.
actually, instead of saying Wakanda forever, I would have loved to see Killmonger do a Wakanda salute.
Oh,
The
that one.
Bombay.
Is that
No,
even
the
Oh,
this.
because
okay.
I don't know if that's a salute as in it's like it's part of the
Yeah.
warrior society or is something that
I
T'Challa
think
actually created.
the challenge. I think that's a Black Panther thing.
That's it.
You don't really see it anywhere else.
I think it's
No, but because when when T'Challa was walking, right, everyone was like,
Oh yeah.
so when he was walking around Wakanda, everyone would be like this.
okay.
Yeah, that's their
alright,
like that's
maybe
their like
that is, yeah,
that's
yeah.
their like greeting.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
because what's stuck in my head is when the siblings met and they were like it's like really really chill and something like that, right?
Mm.
Oh yeah, the
So you would have Michael B. Jordan also doing the Killmonger also do because he's like cool.
To Shuri and Shuri's like what? I don't see a theory for Paul. So I'm assuming he's gonna.
Oh, no theory,
It's
Paul?
gonna-
theory.
Yeah.
No.
Nick Theory?
Okay, so I purposely left this blank
Oh, because you're still on
because-
that. You cannot create a theory from each of the episodes.
yes,
Okay.
but
Gotcha.
I would like to revisit what I said last week because of the
Ooh.
trailer that dropped
Ah,
midweek,
Exactly.
right?
It's the same thing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say that I
it's now back
I-
on the table.
the whole the whole multiverse like Avengers of the multiverse thing is, I think,
It's
because of what
happening.
dropped on the
That's
trailers.
no longer
I
a
think it's
theory.
gonna-
That's pretty much confirmed.
yeah. That's why I'm backing
He
out.
just
of-
wants to. Yeah, he's backing
I
out
just
of
want
the
to correct.
theory.
Yeah, my
In
theory
our
that is not
theories
connected.
section.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
but they're now connected. So yeah, so that one's
there will be. So same thing with me, and then I guess what I'll say is that maybe that last episode that we were hoping something would wrap up and say everything's related to somehow.
Yeah.
Would
I have a
be
feeling
that.
that's
Would be that. It'd be
something is gonna kick off.
exactly. So we can just say we can safely say we can actually just sort of because obviously I also gave up on the
Yeah.
whole
I
season
would-
arc thing.
Yeah, after the zombies episode, like, oh man, I don't think anything is gonna get connected. And then the trailer drops, like, what the hell? But yeah, I mean,
Is that
okay.
so? Obviously, just to share it with the audience, the trailer dropped before the show episode aired, showing it's a mid-season trailer. It's showing some of the footage that we haven't seen yet.
Yeah.
Like the swapping in and out shot of the Avengers, but this one
The original
comprised
six.
of I think Black Widow, Captain Carter,
Carter.
and Gamora using Thanos' armor. It was just three. We didn't see the rest of the team. Whoever's that gonna make. I'm assuming Star Lord's gonna be Star Lord.
You know,
Star-Lord, T'Challa.
T'Challa, Star-Lord.
Star Lord T'Challa
And
Thanos.
and Zombie Iron Man.
yeah.
So I saw that. It's like, I don't think that's gonna happen.
No. That was footage from the episode.
From the
So,
episode, exactly.
It's not new ones.
The Doctor Strange footage was
There
really
you go. So I was like, okay, is that Captain Carter from the first episode? Or maybe not. And then they showed what do you call this? They showed Strange Supreme and I was like, Crap.
and Spider-Man with the
Was he
cloak of levitation.
the Spider-Man cloak of levitation? I was thinking maybe it's also from a rehashed from
Yeah.
the
From
zombie
zombies.
episode.
So you
And then
Scott Lang probably didn't live.
the Scott Lang was
Yeah,
also from
because the cloak of
zombie
levitation
episode.
is back on Spider-Man.
but they showed so it's fine. Okay, they showed Strange Supreme, but he was next to Thor, and I was like, what?
With
Yeah.
Thor, yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Cool.
bro, Thor.
All right, back on the table. So maybe it's in the last episode. Maybe
It never was not
the
on the
table.
table.
No, but I gave up. I don't know the same.
I gave up
know,
also.
You did
Yeah,
I
gave
kept
up.
the faith.
Now you kept the
Just like how I kept the faith for Mephisto
I
the entire
know.
time during WandaVision.
See that
Finally,
one
MCU is rewarding me.
is rewarding
keeping
you
the faith.
with a Senior Scratchy moment.
Yes.
Gotcha. But Joel has a lot of things. Has more
Oh,
things
yeah.
to say. So
Yeah, so yeah, it's a little bit connected to what I said a while ago earlier, and yeah, Paul, you did say that they probably didn't know that Chadwick Boseman didn't reveal what was happening with him, but I mean, like I said, it's always easy to rewrite.
Right.
They do it all the time in movies.
Yes,
They
do.
rewrite while shooting. So it's all, and then this entire series is looking more and more like a goodbye letter to Chadwick Boseman. I mean, T'Challa has been featured or has been highlighted in several of the episodes already, and they've dropped several quotes about remembering our loved ones, our fallen loved ones. It's also kind of connected to what a lot of people around the world are experiencing with
probably.
this whole pandemic thing.
Yes.
So we go back to the zombies episode. I forgot to highlight this last episode. This quote about T'Challa saying it was T'Challa who said it. He said it to Spider-Man, to Peter, that in his culture, death is not the end.
Yeah.
They are still with us as long as we don't forget them.
Yep.
So and that was really gripping. And then like I mentioned a while ago, Ramonda's for T'Challa, it really sounded as if Angela Bassett was saying it more than for T'Challa, but it was really for Chadwick Boseman, right? It wasn't like for Frodo from Lord of the Rings: Return of the King, the thing that Aragorn said before he
yes.
charged
That was
into
purely
battle.
for a battle cry motivation.
Yeah.
One. This one obviously has a
Yeah,
different,
which is
an
weird because he
additional layer.
whispered it, but the entire army heard it. Anyway,
Yes.
and then the last quote of this episode was actually really something, also really poignant. Like the quote said, "Heroes are never really gone; they live forever, and so do the ones they inspire to carry on the fight." Again, somewhat referencing to Chadwick Boseman, because he did inspire a lot of people with, not only with his performance as T'Challa, but even with the way that he lived his life.
Yep.
Right? So it all the more this thing is becoming like okay, this is our goodbye to you. We're going to say our formal goodbye to the character in Black Panther, Wakanda Forever.
Oh no, it's in the title now. We can't. Oh no.
It is a title. It is a title.
It's Black
I
Panther,
know,
Wakanda Forever.
It is, but what I'm saying
not
is
Wakanda
that now,
Forever.
Now there's that version.
Yeah.
Like overlap. When we see the title, we're like, oh no, in my head, it's right there.
It's Wakanda Forever.
And Michael B. Jordan is
Is he?
slated for a return, right? Yeah.
Oh wow. Wow.
See,
In Black Panther.
that's gonna be the
Wow.
interesting thing. What's gonna happen with the second movie? So we'll
So it's-
figure it out.
I have a going back to the whole interconnected thing. Who knows? Maybe this Killmonger goes into the live action MCU.
I wouldn't mind if Michael B. Jordan or Killmonger in the second Black Panther movie, if Killmonger starts to learn to become a hero, because because they're now interconnected. Everyone is interconnected because of what they drank, right? So they are in like all their spiritual essence are connected through like the plane when they meditate, and they're like they can speak to the Panther God and everything, and they can speak to their predecessors. And I think that's Killmonger speaking to his father will actually um trigger like a hero's journey for him. At least that's how I wanna write
Wow, it's a
Black
theory
Panther
from Paul.
because I really like Michael B. Jordan as
That's
Killmonger, and I really want to see a hero's arc of, for him.
That's if we do see this version of Killmonger return for the second Black Panther movie. But remember, so far the movies have remained within the realm of the sacred timeline.
Right.
So it's quite possible that the second Black Panther movie, if they bring back the Killmonger character, because lo and behold, he survived. His death. He's already a changed man. He already has that conversation with T'Challa while
Yes.
they were looking over the cliff. So it's quite possible that if he does come back, he's already a changed man. That we hope we hope there's still a hero's journey that can happen in the Black Panther movie too, because he now
Yeah.
has to fill in the shoes of his predecessors.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Wow. Yeah.
Ka-chow.
I mean, it's ka-chow. Unlike ka-chow, Wakanda Forever doesn't just have the same ring.
Just yeah.
I want Owen Wilson to say Wakanda forever.
Well, he will say it the same
Not
way.
forever.
Exactly. He says that. Just that
Yeah.
it sounds a little bit cooler because
Wow,
he's probably gonna be
ka-chow,
saying that
Wakanda
on board
forever.
a jet ski. We're like, yes, Mobius. Still waiting out for that. I'm still holding off for that. But that is it for our show.
That is it.
Thank you again to Paul and Joel for joining and sharing their thoughts, impressions, and theories
Anytime,
on
brother.
the episode of What If. I ask you, dear audience, how would you have retold this particular story? We'd be interested to know. Next time, we continue traveling through the multiverse, reliving the familiar as new variant stories. What changes to key MCU events are we still waiting for? We have only 2 more episodes left.
Oh my God, two
Yes,
more. Wow.
exactly. As always, dear audience, we hope you tune in to the next episode and continue to hang out with us. Till then, bye. Wakanda forever.
Wakanda forever.
Oh.